So you've got your big tub of ointment, you've got your antibacterial soap, you've got your fresh new goopy tattoo, but now it's time to go to bed. So let's talk about that. Hey everybody, I'm your host, The Professor, and on this episode of Inkademic, we're talking about sleeping with a new tattoo, how to treat it, what to avoid, and why you might just be overthinking the entire thing. So what's the first thing people tell you about sleeping with a new tattoo? Dark sheets and extra ointment is usually what they say. Or they say, sleep on your stomach, or sleep on your back, or sleep on this side, or sleep on that side, as if you have any control over that once you fall asleep without restraints. Oh. There's a lot of advice out there about sleeping on a new tattoo. Especially for first-comers, it can be confusing or maybe even a little frightening. And rightfully so. You hear it from everyone. You must wash multiple times per day. Make sure you've always got a thin layer of ointment on so it doesn't dry out. Or my favorite, keep it exposed as much as you can. The air really helps it heal. And, aside from the whole wounds need air to heal thing, which is a myth, the advice isn't bad. But let's explore the topic a little bit more before we start prescribing aftercare options. First, let's talk about what happens to your skin at night, regardless of newness of body modifications. Basically, at night, your skin goes into kind of repair mode, more or less. See, right around midnight, your cells are dividing and renewing and helping to heal your skin. And truth be told, it happens around midnight whether you're asleep or not. It's more to do with the circadian rhythm. That said, it stands to reason that you would need to fuel your body in order for this to happen. That's why hydration before bed is so important, especially when you're healing a new tattoo. Likewise, your skin produces less oil at night, so it's going to be a little less moisturized regardless. There's also a phenomenon called transepidermal water loss, which is a lot like sweating, but is also a completely different bodily function. See, sweat is moisture that comes directly from sweat glands, and it evaporates from the skin in order to cool you down. Transepidermal water loss, on the other hand, also comes off of your skin, evaporates, but it doesn't come from sweat glands. Actually, the majority of it comes from the palms of your hands and the soles of your feet. And you lose about 300 to 400 milliliters a day through this process. Things like lotion, ointments, these can actually help stop that from happening. Although it's perfectly normal. Don't worry about it. One nice thing about nighttime when it comes to healing tattoos is that when you're asleep, your skin warms up and the pH lowers, which means it becomes a little bit more acidic. And one 2015 meta-study has shown that slightly acidic environments actually promote skin wound healing. And links to all the research and stuff in the description. Point being, sleeping with a new tattoo is a good thing. Oh, and speaking of timing, did you know that wounds that you sustain during daylight hours actually heal faster than wounds that you sustain at night? So, if you can, maybe schedule your session for early afternoon. Couldn't hurt. Okay, you say, I've got the ointment, now what? Put some sheets on your bed that you really don't care about if they get ink or bodily fluids on at night, because, and this may come as a shock, they will. And that ink, it does not come out. That's a feature, not a bug. Of course, all of this is still assuming that you're doing the traditional cover and ointment kind of aftercare. And this is default, I think, still. And you know what I'm talking about. Fresh tattoo, plastic wrap on it, go home, wait a couple hours, take it off, wash, ointment, repeat, right? So unless you are a very calm sleeper, or you can guarantee that you're not going to move around, you're going to get that ointment slathered tattoo up against the sheets at some point. It's going to get stuff on it. And that's okay. That's the point of the ointment, in part. It's a protective barrier. If stuff's getting on the ointment, it's not getting in the tattoo, so it's doing its job. And what if you wipe off all the ointment at night? You roll over, it's all gone. You sleep with a dry tattoo all night. You're probably going to be fine. If you scratch it, you're probably going to be fine. It's a new tattoo. It's not a Fabergé egg. So all of this assumes that all you have to worry about is yourself and maybe other humans, that kind of thing. Maybe getting some ointment on your sheets. But what if you have pets? More specifically, what if you have pets that like to jump up in bed with you? Obviously, the biggest concern with any new body modification is infection. So what can you do? Well, that depends on your situation. See, with pets, unlike with just humans, you have to deal with a lot more than just kind of dirt. The issue is not the dust, the issue is not the dander. The issue is bacteria. And no, we're not talking about MRSA Although technically you can get MRSA from a pet, but would have to get it from another person first, and that just seems unlikely, and it's not their fault anyway. Luckily, there are still about 30 different kinds of bacteria that you can directly get from your pets. The last thing you want is your very loving, very affectionate, very cuddly dog licking your fresh tattoo and rolling all over it after they've been rolling in God knows what in the backyard. And sure, you can get stuff like ringworm, not actually a worm. Hookworm is actually a worm. Scabies, human version of mange, or the exotically named Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever, which sounds a lot more interesting than it really is. You can still get all these things from your pet, but when you're dealing with a new tattoo, when you're dealing with a fresh, open wound, bacteria is your main concern. So, if you have pets, like I do, and if they like to jump up on the bed whether they're told to or not, keep this in mind. Go ahead and wrap it at night. A little bit of plastic wrap, some medical tape, take it off in the morning, wash in ointment as usual. That's going to be 100 times better than having Fido licking at your tattoo all night. Okay, so, no pets? Fine. Use fresh sheets. They just need to be clean. They don't have to be steam sanitized or bleached or anything like that. They just need to be clean. You'll probably be just fine. Oh, and did you know that flavanol and procyanidin, stuff inside cocoa and wine, respectively, are actually really good for your skin health? Not in the acne prevention kind of way, we know that. But they help improve skin hydration. They help prevent that transepidermal water loss that we talked about. They increase the blood flow to the cutaneous and subcutaneous tissue, and they decrease UV light sensitivity, which, if you know anything about tattoos, that's a huge bonus. So, I mean, I'm not saying that you have to go out and eat chocolate and drink wine after getting a new tattoo, but fact is, it's gonna suck. It's gonna be uncomfortable. That's the nature of the beast. You're gonna ruin maybe a piece of clothing, maybe a pillowcase, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. If you're someone using Tegaderm or Saniderm or something like that, you don't have to worry about any of this. It is still possible to overthink the whole thing. So once you've washed those ointmenty hands, come back and hit that subscribe button, click on that little bell, and get notified every time a video like this is published. Coming up in the future, we have videos on cosmetic tattooing, historical tattoos, mind-controlled bionic limbs. And if you want to watch something right now about that Tegaderm that I just mentioned, I did a video all about that. It's a little gooey, a little gory, and it's in 4K. Yeah, it's going to be that kind of channel.